What is going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook Preview Show. It is Patriots Day. Maybe you guys are tuning in, watching, getting ready for the main slate while watching some 11 a.m. baseball with the Red Sox taking on the White Sox there. We do have some earlier games. We got a 6:40 start time for this Monday main slate over on DraftKings. Getting 6 games here. Grande, it was an interesting weekend. We had obviously some high-scoring games on Sunday. We saw the Cincinnati Reds, the baseball team, Cincinnati baseball team, hang 25 runs on the board. A couple of those coming off of infielders, Gary Sanchez and Jorge Mateo, proving not to be viable bullpen options for the Baltimore Orioles in that game. We had some other big scores, obviously. We had some really good pitching matchups. We're starting to see maybe some interesting trends with some teams that struggle against certain splits. We always say as we get deeper into the season, sample sizes become greater, and we start to realize what is and what is Tyler Mahle real? A couple starts ago, we weren't sure. He's been damn good now, shutting out the Dodgers in his most recent start. So a lot more to come as we continue to get this information. We turn our attention now to the Monday slate where we have some good starters, Spencer Schwellenbach, Hunter Brown. Looks like we have Nick Lodolo coming back here against Miami. Jack Flaherty on the slate. So it should be a good one, even though it's only 6 games.
Bart Scott. Can't wait.
Schwellenbach is $9,500. Got the St. Louis Cardinals, a team that we've talked a lot about their matchups against lefties. Schwellenbach is a righty. That lineup's going to be very lefty heavy against him at $9,500. Hunter Brown, as good as he has been, gets Toronto. That lineup got George Springer back over to the weekend. We know what their offense can and can't do. They've been inconsistent at times this season. Miami, a team that struggles against right-handed pitching, especially when it comes to the strikeout department. And Flaherty gets the Padres here.
Lodolo's a lefty.
Lodolo's a lefty. Well, then there you go. Even better. Had that one clicked incorrectly on the splits then. Lodolo, a lefty. Miami struggles against lefties, but doesn't strike out against lefties all that much. So, thoughts here? Well,
that wasn't until they ran into Big Eddie, and Big Eddie took him to the woodshed and had like 10 strikeouts in 4 innings.
For the majority of the season, they only had a 21% strikeout rate against left-handed pitching. So we'll see.
Thanks, Connor Norby, for returning. Yeah, I mean, Schwellenbach's coming off his worst start and is a good pitcher. So I'd be willing to go back to the well. Everyone's allowed 1 or 2 bad starts. Hunter Brown doesn't have bad starts. He's an elite pitcher. Finally gets to pitch in his own ballpark because 3 road starts in a row. I guess it hasn't been the worst. Good pitching environments in all 3 of those, but I like using him in basically any matchup. Lodolo is interesting. I mean, he has been pretty good to start the year outside of the last start against Seattle. His 2 starts that he's allowed anything in have been home starts, and this is back on the road. So back on the road is where we like any Reds pitcher, and Miami's a big ballpark, so I like Lodolo as well. I like all 3 of those top 3 guys you mentioned.
Sure. I mentioned again, Lodolo coming off the paternity list there. Again, like overall in the year, Miami's still 24th in strikeout rate, 22%. We did have Erod have 9 Ks in 5 innings against them. So maybe Lodolo we know can be a strikeout pitcher there. Brown versus Toronto. It is a smaller slate, so you're going to have to kind of pick and choose. Where are we, Kevin Gausman? He's looked good now. A couple of slates, faced Boston, faced Atlanta. Didn't strike anybody out against against the Mets, but held his own a little bit there against Baltimore. Last year was pretty bad for him. Do we think he can get it going against this Houston lineup?
Houston lineup that hasn't been very good. So I don't see why not. I like the price. I'm expecting him to have a lot of ownership at that price.
Yeah, $8,000 for Gausman. Houston, as you mentioned, 23% strikeout rate, just kind of middle of the pack, but a 225 average, a 109 ISO, 288 weighted on base this year against right-handed pitching. I guess the lone question there would be sort of win equity having to go against Hunter Brown, but Gausman's certainly held his own. Max Meyer has been awesome. 25 runs aside from the Reds, teeing off on Charlie Morton in the infield of Baltimore. Are we in on Meyer here against this Reds offense?
Yeah, if this feels like an interesting price deduction because he has been pitching too well he pitched his first start as a 6K pitcher. He's obviously not that.
Right.
He pitched 2 starts as a 7K pitcher. He's obviously not that. He made it start at 8K, basically got you 20 fantasy points, and they decided, you know what? Nope. We got to make him a 7K pitcher again. And I'll just keep saying the same thing I keep saying when it comes to Max Meyer. Like, I'll just keep trusting the talent because he gets strikeouts, he gets ground balls. And although he's not a guy who's guaranteed to win ever,
right.
He's too cheap at a sub 8K price. He's realistically probably, if he's going to pitch and give you around 20 fantasy points to start, he's probably $1,000 too cheap. And so I will just take talent, and that's where I'll go. And like you said, the Reds have had like 3 big games this year, and everything else has been really bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
So,
and Baltimore has the second worst team staff in baseball. So teeing off on them in your home ballpark really isn't that big of a feat. As it is. Meyer last start against Arizona, the 2 home runs allowed. Listen, Arizona right now ranks first in WOBA against right-handed pitching. They're first in ISO against right-handed pitching. They're first in OPS against right-handed pitching. They're third in batting average against right-handed pitching with an 11% walk rate and a 20% strikeout rate. And he went out there 6 innings, gave up 5 hits just to the 2 homers, and struck out 8. So pretty impressive stuff against a team that is just absolutely obliterating right-handed pitching there. So I'm kind of with you. I like the Meyer play. Robbie Ray, you had your typical Robbie Ray outing. 5 walks, 8 strikeouts against the Phillies here. The walks have obviously been a problem. 14 walks over the last 3 games. He's someone that does have a high strikeout potential. Where are you, or is there a spot for you with Robbie Ray here against Milwaukee?
Where am I? I am constantly in a pretzel when it comes to Robbie Ray because it is a roller coaster of emotions that I am not prepared for every 5th day. And I don't want to be prepared for every 5th day.
This will be a challenge for him because Milwaukee has just a 6% walk rate, which is 27th against left-handed pitching. So a team that is very free swinging. If you throw it around the plate, they're going to swing at it. Can Robbie Ray walk 5 Brewers? I think will be a test in itself. Milwaukee against left-handed pitching, though, just a 220 batting average and 087 ISO, a 267 WOBA. He's home, if that matters. His one good start this year was home against Seattle. Still had 5 walks and only had 2 strikeouts in that game. But the price is now, significantly decreased given the recent outings here. So on a smaller slate, does Robbie Ray make a player pool for you?
Yes, he does. I think the last time we had this Milwaukee against lefty, they hit Isaac Collins second, and you were like, who? And I was like, yeah. I'm fairly certain that's exactly how our dialogue went. And that just goes to show you, like you said, it's been now a year plus of this where they just have too many lefties in their lineup. And you're like, oh, right, they have Jackson Chourio and William Contreras. And then it literally falls off a cliff because Rhys Hoskins hasn't hit. They did call up Durbin, but he's like 5'6" and has had like 1 good year of minor league baseball. I'm not saying he can't be good, but he was like the prized possession in that Devin Williams trade with the Yankees. So I mean, it's a good spot for Robbie. Like you said, if he walks Brewers, then he's cooked. Just get rid of him.
They'll run all over him if they if they let him on first.
And just as a guy who walks too many people and would be facing a free swinging lineup, like you're cooked all like you're just cooked as a pitcher moving forward because it's impossible to walk the Brewers, as you just said.
Yeah. Question of the day: is Quinn Priester real or not?
I mean, I see him. He's on my screen. His picture.
Out of
he
the
may not be wearing the right jersey
that we believe. 2 starts now, 1 earned run allowed, 1 hit Detroit. 84 pitches
and pitched in Coors in the other one.
Yeah. His 0.9 ERA is matched by an expected ERA of 5.40. But he does have a 54% ground ball rate, and that is kind of actually tracked the last 3 years of him at the major league level, 54, 58, 53. So is a ground ball pitcher. The problem is that he gives up some home runs. Last year, he had a 17% home run to fly ball rate. In 2023, as a Pirate, he had a 27% home run to fly ball rate, which basically means like if the ball's hit in the air, it is out of the stadium. Otherwise, he's getting you to get a ground ball out. But again, he's looked good. Giants, are you worried about this Giants lineup right now? Obviously, Chapman's hot. Lee is hot in the middle of their lineup here.
Yeah, I mean it's a thumpy lineup. Is that
sure?
Is that how we can go?
Thumpy works.
Tyler Fitzgerald has been awesome lately. We know Adames is good against righties specifically. This is not my favorite. Oh, Yastrzemski's been good. This is not my favorite. And also, I'm just a noted Quinn Priester hater. So like, you're gonna really have to be facing a like non-competitive lineup for me.
The guys that we've been haters on for the last 2 weeks have shoved. So
okay, the numbers do suggest that they've shoved.
Yeah.
I will obviously like take an L if they continue to get lucky and whatever. We've seen it for 2 years with Tyler Anderson. Like he just gets lucky every 5th day. You move on.
Yeah.
And
just
like
down
that
the
guy
the other day.
that guy is just the Giants.
Giants.
Shut him out. Shut him out. And I like good for you, Tyler Anderson. Like you are just going to be what you're going to be. But Martin Perez last time out, absolutely shellacked, got hurt, done, cooked, whatever.
You see who the cheapest pitcher on the slate is, right?
The second luckiest pitcher in the game. Besides the first 3 start, Antonio Sanzatella.
I mean, 7 hits against the Cubs, 1 run allowed, not striking anybody out, gave up 10 fly balls in that game against Chicago, and still just managed to just skirt around all the damage here. Detroit, we're not recommending Randy Vasquez by any sense. Detroit obviously has some good lefties in their lineup, which has been a spot where Vasquez has struggled. I have a feeling we're probably going to go back to the Detroit well in a few spots here positionally. Was there any other pitchers you wanted to talk about that we didn't mention? We mostly talked about everybody. Anybody we didn't dive in on?
I mean, Flaherty misses bats. That's about my extent of Jack Flaherty.
They lost Luis Urias tonight too. Got knocked unconscious.
I saw that he was carded, but I didn't see what happened.
First base collision. He was running to first. Dubon was going to cover first, and they just ran into each other, and he got the worst of it. He got KO'd.
Sheesh.
So,
Shouts to Luis Urias. Hopefully, everything's okay.
Yeah, they said he's staying in the hospital overnight for observation. So,
wow, that's definitely not good.
He was KO'd, like Tua KO'd. So,
sheesh.
We'll have to see what happens with him, but obviously not going to be in the lineup there. So to San Diego, moving some things around there with their lineup.
Right.
We go to the catcher position. Eric Fetty's another one of those guys that is just sort of surviving around some of the numbers with him here. Atlanta's an offense that we know is super talented and is due to break out.
A little bit. We've seen it a couple days, right?
Yeah.
They scored a couple times lately. Olsen hit a couple home runs this weekend.
Yeah, they're starting to wake. Verdugo had 4 hits, I think it was on Sunday or Saturday or whatever day it was. So as their leadoff hitter, so there's definitely some potential for them. So you got Murphy, Contreras, Dingler up at the top. Again, a smaller slate, so the value plays. Probably a little bit less. Winans had the 5 for 6 day today with the home run because they threw
6 for 7.
6 for 7. Yeah, 6 for 7. Yeah, ridiculous day for Austin Winans. Getting the homer off of Mateo. Not that we're going to probably go back to that, but obviously a ridiculous day. So we'll see, I guess, where the value ends up on this slate here. Is there a catcher you wanted to highlight?
No, I want to close my eyes and pretend like catcher doesn't exist.
Patrick Bailey, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Catcher stinks.
We'll be back live at 5, and we'll who's in the lineup.
And we'll give you something. We'll give you something. Obviously, we'll build with the catcher. So,
we'll decide.
William Contreras. There you go. 45.
Probably a rare slate where we do spend up at the position. First base. Alonso's 56, Harper's 54. A lot of spend up options here. Nola, McGill, the matchup in that game. Torkelson's been really good. You have Vasquez, Matt Olson, as you mentioned, has been homering. It's Fetty there. Rhys Hoskins homered the other day. He's got Robbie Ray. So some spots up in the top half we could go to.
Yeah, I basically like every guy over 4K. Alonso, Nola looks pretty bad. Aaron Nola has not had any smooth start so far.
No.
He's walking guys. He's getting shelled. There has just been nothing good.
Yeah, Alonso, the light at the end of the tunnel for him is sort of like the 10.3 K per 9, which is the highest it's been since 2022. His 6.65 ERA is matched with a 4.01 expected ERA. So 4 is not great, but it's not 6.65. He's got a 3.44 xFIP because of the strikeouts, but a 20% home run to fly ball rate is absolutely murdering him right now.
Yeah. Alonso coming to town. Well, he's going to Alonso's home.
A lot of fly balls.
Yeah. So that could be a recipe for disaster for Nola. Great for Alonso. Harper's looked amazing recently. Vladdy's coming around. Obviously tough spot, but it's Vladdy. You could play him whenever. Mm-hmm. Olsen homers in 2 of 5, not back to back, but back-to-back days with extra base hits in 5 straight, 8 of 9 overall. A lot of RBI for Matt Olson too. This is the guy he's been for every year of his career, right? This is the guy they replaced, literally walking away from Freddie Freeman for. So
yeah, Matt Olson was never going to win a batting title, but he was supposed to hit 35 home runs and drive in 120 RBIs.
Yeah, and possibly 45. They were expect even more homers too.
That's fair.
But the Fetty, love this Fetty spot. And I'm just comfortable playing Torque against any split. That guy, if he's not homering, he's doubling. If he's not doubling, he's on base because he's walking. If he's not, when he's walking, the Tigers are so good, they're just manufacturing him in. He is constantly accruing fantasy points. So he is. I know the Vasquez stuff has been lefty dominant over the last few years, but it's a product of a stack. And plus Carpenter left on Sunday. If Carpenter can't play, that weakens the stack. I would not play a weakened Tigers stack without Torque, especially if there's no Carpenter. So
against right-handed pitching this year. And again, I understand the opposite. We generally like lefties against Vasquez, but at this point, it doesn't seem like it matters. He's shutting them all down. Torkelson's got 347 ISO, 633 slug, and a 430 WOBA against right-handed pitching this year. Yes, it's with a 31% strikeout rate. Not great, but I think you just kind of live with the strikeouts with Torkelson, knowing that at least the walk rate's up, right? 13% walk rate this year. So
yes,
immense power, and he's doing it against righties. So I'm with you there. Now, again, I mentioned Rhys. If you're going to go with a righty stack against Robbie Ray, you got to get Rhys Hoskins in your lineup there. Working your way down, is there any value that you would consider? Lamonte Wade, maybe?
Value. Where's Lamonte Wade? He has been so bad, but if he's in the lineup, he's fine. Wagaman has been good. He'll play against the lefty in Lodolo, hitting kind of the middle of their order.
Mm-hmm.
You can always like punt a Caratini, but do you want to use that at first? I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not. Especially since we may use Gossman, I guess. So
Yeah, Gossman is definitely in the cards. I don't. That's probably.
yeah,
That's probably it.
normally we would play Cardinals, but we don't really want to go against Schrellenbach here. So
No.
second base, McLean is 52, Terang is 51, Altuve is 5K. That's your top group here. Where do you think we go here? Is it Stott against McGill? McGill's been pretty good, but Philly just put up a bunch of runs this weekend against Miami as well.
Yeah, and I think things have kind of shifted for Bryson Stott, right? They moved him into the leadoff hole, and he's kind of just like getting on and going. And I know some of that, at least on the Sunday slate, has to do with the catcher behind the plate.
They cut that guy,
but
because our guy Craig
Brantley,
Mish tweeted that the Marlins are calling up their top catching prospect, and he'll be with the team for this series. So
yeah, I mean, they're not carrying three catchers if one of the catchers can't throw anybody out. But hey, like, this is a guy who is really fast, who had a really good year a couple seasons ago, struggled last year, still stole a bunch of bases last year. But if they're going to lead him off, and behind him is Turner, Harper, Schwarber, I can tell you multiple things with like defined certainty. He's going to be the one to get the pitches to hit. He's going to score a lot of runs if he's on base with those with those guys behind him. So like, if he keeps getting on base, I mean, we look at the runs scored in the last like week, and he shifted to the top of the order. So I think, like, despite a good pitcher on the other side, Stott probably stands out the most. Like, there's obviously appeal in like Albies. Albies is another Brave that has looked pretty good. I know this is not the correct split, but he has looked good. But yeah, I think like Stott was probably the first.
I'm with you there. Acuna has been better of late as well. Again, if you're not in on Nola, they've kind of been just playing him even against righties at times as well. So it's not just a straight lefty righty platoon with Beatty. So Acuna's in the lineup at 35. I think we can get to. You mentioned Tyler Fitzgerald and how good he's been lately. Again, if you're just waiting for the Quinn Priester train to fall off the tracks, like the numbers suggest they may, Fitzgerald at $3,200 certainly stands out there.
Yeah, I've said it a couple times, I think, in the past week, like the Fitzgerald stuff, we've seen it now last year and this year. He was really bad to start the year. And then he just goes in these like God modes where he's hitting home runs, he's stealing bases. So 3,200 for Fitzgerald. I don't love that he hits ninth, but if he's going to be productive, it doesn't really matter ultimately. Cole Keith continues to be bad, but it's obviously a good, the good split advantage for him. So this Sanoja kid has been pretty awesome for Miami. I don't know like what the expectation is, but he had a good spring training. He's 22 years old. He had 31 stolen bases in single A, and then he had 48 stolen bases last year in the minor leagues. And he hasn't even really shown that off at the major league level. I like Lodolo here pitching on the road, but if he's going to show some pop, and we're going to get the potential stolen base upside too, especially if we're stealing like 40 bases in a minor league season, you're obviously, you're not Chandler Simpson, but your 40 stolen bases is you're fast. Dude, second base, outfield 2,500 and in a split advantage, that feels pretty good. Miami, I thought they were going to be bottom tier. No one's going to be worse than the Rockies this year, but Miami is definitely not going to be the worst team in the baseball.
Yeah, listen, they have some guys. We've seen Stowers. Matt Mervis has obviously been productive. Xavier Edwards has been productive for them. So They just got Jesus Sanchez back. He's got a lot of power. Norby, yeah,
Norby.
They have a lot of lefty power in their lineup, but Norby coming back certainly helps them out a little bit. So we'll see. Sometimes Miami certainly surprises you a little bit if they get the pitching, right? Like they have Edward Cabrera back. He kind of is. Sandy Alcantara has not looked great. He's had a few starts. Meyer looks good. They're supposed to get Yuri Perez back around the All-Star break. Who knows, right? If the offense, this young talent comes through a little bit, that pitching can kind of stabilize. Maybe there's something there. So third base position. Again, not to be repetitive, we'll probably play some Braves here in Atlanta against Eric Fetty. We just don't believe Fetty's going to be able to keep that run of his going. Matt Chapman, obviously, at $4,500. Super hot, gets Priester here. Again, a guy that we're looking to eventually see explode. Two guys up at the top, I think we'd start to build lineups around.
Yeah. I have no objection to either. I would also include Machado because Flaherty's biggest weakness has been righty power over the last couple of years. Tatis also homered again on Sunday.
You're playing good hitters versus good pitcher in those matchups. That just often keeps ownership low too. So small slate, low ownership, like that's the leverage you get in tournaments. Kind of help you put yourself over the top there.
Yeah, and like just looking at those three names, right? Just taking those three guys, just those three. Obviously, Machado is very obviously going to be the lowest owned of the three, right? Riley against Fetty and Chapman against Priester, and Chapman's been awesome of late. I like all three. I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying Machado's clearly there.
Again, lefty with McKinstry, another 3 hits for him the other day. He's like an unexciting player because he doesn't have like a ton of power. He doesn't have a ton of speed.
It's very exciting.
3 hits and 2 RBIs and 13 fantasy points at $3,900 will certainly get it done for you at this position.
Yes.
I guess the couple of wild cards is at the value. Connor Norby, obviously $3,100 against Lodolo. We think this kid's super talented. Does have a high strikeout rate, but has some power. Has some power. And then Novi Marte, another beneficiary of the blowout by Baltimore today, but he was having an okay game before they decided to go to the Jorge Mateo, Gary Sanchez. He hit a grand slam off of, I think, Mateo it was today.
Okay, done. He's out.
But
he's out.
I'm
just kidding.
Once a talented prospect, got popped for steroids, has certainly struggled at the major league level. The 5 hits and is boosted.
He has 6. Yeah. He has 6 hits this year.
But again, $2,900. There's that potential. Anything else for you?
5 hits.
They were throwing. Mateo was throwing 67-mile-an-hour curveballs. It's the only thing he threw. Game Catch just said curveball. It was gross. So
it was picking up as curveball because they're not used to just the lobs. I don't have really anything. I do think Norby is the one that stands out. You mentioned the strikeouts. He's really fast. I know it's a lefty on the mound, but another guy who just has elite sprint speed. And he's like upper tier sprint speed. He did an interview before the year too, said he wanted to hit 30 home runs this year. Obviously that's kind of derailed that he missed the first month of the year, but it's a pretty lofty goal, right? Hit 30 home runs. So elite sprint speed plus that much power. This is a guy that 3,100. The Orioles had to trade because they had too many players. Kobe Mayo was hammering AAA, and they're just sorry, Kobe, we just don't have a spot for you in the infield right now. So it is what it is. Maybe if Heston Kjerstad lands on the IL after getting hit by a 100-mile-an-hour Hunter Green pitch, that Kobe Mayo can DH or something. But Connor Norby's good. I'm good with that there. And then again, Ibanez against Vasquez or something like that's in the lineup. We could get to it. Shortstop. Elliott, sadly, broke my heart today. They pinch hit him for Santiago Espinal
bases loaded, Jorge Mateo pitching. That was a heartbreaker. I had Ellie in my DFS lineup today. I stacked Reds, stacked the 1, 3, 4 hitters. It was the bottom of the lineup that did like 900% of the damage, but Friedel and Hayes were still awesome. But Ellie was in a big spot that they just decided up 20 runs. We don't need Ellie to take this AB. So that one broke my heart.
20 runs.
But yeah, Ellie here. I certainly can play him. Turner, Lindor, homered. Some good guys up at the top, all super talented. Play them whoever you want. It's just build your lineup with one of those 3 in there.
Up 20 runs is an insane.
Up 20 runs. They pinch hit San Diego. That's been all hurt to see.
Ellie is just showing he is just what he is in terms of fantasy production. Like, he is just simply elite. So if you want to play him. Turner fits perfectly into a stack. Lindor fits perfectly into a stack. Also, Lindor starting to percolate a little bit. Walk off on Friday. Another home run, 3 hits on Sunday. Like, the Mets are winning a lot of games, and Lindor and Soto haven't hit yet. So that's kind of crazy. Xavier Edwards is really good professional hitter and steals bases. He no power, but very good hitter. A lot of speed. Love Adames against a righty, especially a guy that has any fly ball leaves the yard. That's really Adames kind of guy. Probably wouldn't play the other guys.
Nothing really down here. If there's a punt shortstop, but again, we say it all the time. Yeah, Durbin. You're basically losing money punting shortstop at this position, especially on a small slate. If any one of these 3 have a 20 fantasy point game, which they're all super live to do, you're just losing. I think at that point,
I'm okay with Durbin. If you're stacking against Robbie Ray, he's had he was really good in the minors, and then Arizona Fall League type was crazy, and he's very fast. He is smaller than Jose Altuve. That is his downfall. Billy Ray this is Caleb Durbin.
Will walk him.
I know he will. Billy, this is Caleb Durbin. He's really fast. The problem, he has the shortest legs in professional baseball.
All right, now you're making me look how big he is. Caleb Durbin here.
Dude, he's 5'6".
So Wikipedia page says he's 5'8". Is that a lie?
That's a lie. It's a lie. You went to Wiki.
MLB.com has him at 5'6".
They have to be. Yeah. Okay, so we're getting there. 5'7".
Every site I look at,
so does Baseball Reference 5'7". It's like the Twitter ones where it's if every retweet I'll grow. Caleb Durbin will get bigger. No, this one's every page you look at, he grows smaller. Okay, he's listed 5'7". I'm skeptical if he's standing next to
outfield. Tatis, as you mentioned, 1 yard again. He's super good. No one's going to play him because he's going up against Flaherty. You have your Philly plays. Soto versus Nola right now with Nola's 20% home run to fly ball rate. Certainly feels a bit enticing. Chorio's awesome. I don't need to really go too much into that. Again, I don't think I'm going to go any Houston because I kind of want to play Gossman at 8K, even though going up against Hunter Brown isn't great. On the other side, in terms of win equity, I do think Gossman's in a really good spot here. Probably just go to Lee if we're not spending, if you're looking for a 4K guy. He's been so good.
Yeah, the power has been kind of surprising too.
People were high on him last year when he signed with the Giants. He just got hurt right away and the season was over.
Yeah, he's just never been a power guy. He's been a obviously elite contact. Everything. Dude, 10 doubles. His first 27 hits, he has 10 doubles. He has 14 extra base hits of his 27. Over half his hits are extra bases, which is elite. And then 3 stolen bases. So even when he's hitting singles, he's swiping it back. So I basically agree with everything you said. Just there's some names up there that you can definitely get to. And then the first person I'd be looking at below 5K is Jung Lee.
Yeah, the other day Marcell Ozuna was $4,400, and I was like, that's too cheap. Unfortunately, he had a bad day. which really hurt me because I came in second in a satellite qualifier by 4 points. Could have used Marcelo sooner to have any one of the other days that he had. $4,700. He's a 5K outfielder. Michael Harris, $4,400. Again, a guy you can go with. The lefties. Now, Riley Green has certainly been struggling, but the numbers for Vasquez just bear out that at some point a lefty is going to get to him here. So, $4,300 for him. Nimmo, Yaz, as you mentioned, has been hot to get against Priester at 42. So a lot of good guys in the mid range.
Yeah, and if Carpenter plays 42, again, removed from Sunday's game, but if Carpenter plays, I'd throw him into that mix as well.
Austin Hayes, again, I like Meyer. But Austin Hayes has been really good since returning to their lineup.
Yeah, man, he has been great.
Crazy to say. They still have Gavin Lux hitting like 4th and 5th. Again, Meyer, I think, is in a really good spot against this lineup, away getting them out of Cincinnati. But your boy Gavin Sheets homered again the other day.
Yep, of course he did.
Are we trusting the Verdugo leadoff play?
Okay. No, but it is. I mean, he's had one good game and then 2 games you expect from Alex Verdugo.
Yep, I agree. Let's see. Any other plays to highlight down here? Value?
They're all like lefty. There's all like lefty.
Dane Myers had the big
stuff.
homer.
Dane Myers. Yeah, Dane Myers. Cam Smith double donged. I literally said to you, that was the Verdugo night. And I was like, wouldn't you just play Cam Smith at this price for the upside? Because he just is a monster. He just hasn't been great. And then he was great. So, I don't love it, but I just am acknowledging that he's going to hit 40 home runs in a year eventually.
I don't disagree. And it was super frustrating because every show you and I do, we almost just throw Cam Smith in there. All right, we need a punt outfielder. Yep. Cam Smith's super talented. He shouldn't be $2,700. We'll throw him in there. And obviously we didn't that day. And he
finally one day.
But this is going to turn into a Corbin Carroll situation for us at some point, I feel where he is going to click.
Yep.
And it's going to take 2 weeks for DraftKings to realize that he has clicked, while Cam Smith is lighting the league on fire. So will it happen against Kevin Gossman? Probably not. But will it happen against maybe the rest of Toronto's pitching staff? Maybe not Chris Bassett, because he's also been good. Does he get Easton Lucas at all? Because then it'll definitely happen there. So I do like the value call on that one. That's probably it until we get some starting lineups though, right? All righty.
Yeah. Isaac Collins hitting second, probably. I wonder if they would actually legit hit Durbin second. Hit
William.
Would they potentially move Durbin into two? Yeah, they could do that too.
Terang, William.
Just not Isaac Collins,
1
right?
through 4. So, Yelich 5. I don't know. All right, pitching. What do we want to do?
I do want to use Kevin Gossman.
But what do we want to do for SB2?
So use Kevin Gossman. Maximilian.
I'm good with it. All right.
We can spend up wherever we want. Because we want to spend up at catcher and use William.
Let's get our. So, do you want to do stack Milwaukee here? Go Chorio, Contreras. We want to do probably what's our favorite stacks here? Atlanta, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, or just Detroit because of Vasquez.
Yeah, Detroit definitely looks good. Detroit looks good. Miami for cheap.
Yeah.
Miami's really cheap. And they got a lefty.
Yeah.
Norby cheap third base.
Yeah, what was it?
Play.
Second base too. 2K second base.
Oh, Durbin.
You Norman?
Yeah, I thought Norby, but I do I don't hate Durbin either.
48.
You can pay. We can spend wherever we want to spend.
McGill here or against Turner. There's stack against McGill. Seemed like got our little Philly.
I'd be okay.
And then
I'd
get
be
him
okay with that.
two outfielders at $4,300. So, let's see, was there a value outfielder we liked?
What does Schwarber? Does Schwarber put
I was
us
gonna
on?
say, where does Schwarber go? 20. It does literally
Or it
on
puts us at Sonoja.
which honestly,
Yeah,
I'd
him or
be fine if
Sonoja,
we wanted
a
to
two-man
just
with
throw a
Miami.
value Cam Smith against Gossman. Right.
Okay. Oh, we have Oh shoot, we have. I forgot we did that.
Again, I would be okay with it.
Yeah, I forgot we did that. Yeah.
But if not, we could do
Sonoja.
Yeah. We called them out. Just another 2-man stack. Bunch of stacks, right? 3-man Milwaukee, 3-man Philly, 2-man Miami. Okay. Example lineup for everybody. Gossman, Meyer, Contreras, Harper, Durbin, Norby, Turner, Torrio, Schwarber, and Sonoja. We'll do it all again at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Roster lock at 6:30. We'll have starting lineups for everybody. We'll know where to go. We'll do it again. We'll answer your questions. Let us know in the comment section who you guys are looking to build your lineups around, and we'll catch you later.